Hey guys, it's James with the Chart Guys. It's Wednesday, March 21st. I'm going to do my nightly video on gold. So gold, if you've been watching and following along with me and my technicals, you know I've been watching this 4-hour chart where we've had a high here and lower highs, and clear lower lows, lower low, lower low, and lower low. And what I was watching for patiently was a break to a higher high on the 4-hour. Clearly we got that, and we got that on nice bull volume there. Obviously, a lot of this bull volume helped with FOMC day. But anyways, looking at the 4-hour, we did break to a higher high here, and so any pullback that we're looking for a higher low. And the reason why I am going to look for somewhat of a pullback here is just because the 4-hour RSI is at levels that are overbought and unsustainable. And you can see where it's pulled back in the past. It could run a little higher. That is true. But again, looking at this level of being overbought, ideally I would like some consolidation. The hourly definitely needs consolidation here. The hourly is way too high for my liking here. And along with that 4-hour chart, I was looking at the daily. Looking at the daily here, we had another lower high pattern here on the daily. So we had a high, we had a lower high, another lower high, continued had lower highs. And we broke the resistance I was looking for on the daily here at 1330.50. Did so on nice bull volume here. So this does favor continuation for the bulls here. Could see the upper Bollinger Band here, the Bollinger Band's opening up, and if we break the high of today of 1336.90, we could start writing the upper Bollinger Band up here on the daily chart. Ideally, I did want some consolidation on the hourly and break it tomorrow. What I was looking for was an hourly RSI cool down, with it being so overbought, and then breaking that daily 1330.50 level tomorrow for continuation. But anyways, this does favor the bulls still. So what I would look for here at this point is healthy consolidation on the, let me go back to the hourly. I would look for healthy consolidation here on the hourly. We have hourly support now, the consolidation low here of 1319.20. So any higher low formed on this hourly favors the bulls on any type of consolidation pullback. We do have an inside hourly candle. I'm not going to pay much attention to it because even if it breaks bear, I don't think that we're going to have a significant pullback. Just going to be a pullback to cool it down the hourly based on the bull volume on the daily that I saw, the higher high on the 4-hour. And next, looking at the 5-minute, see what supports we have tomorrow to watch for. So the 5-minute here is clearly forming lower lows, and as it consolidates. So if you're looking for a play tomorrow, you can either wait for a higher high, higher low pattern on the 5-minute, depending on what happens to gold overnight, or you can look at the hourly here, and if we have a significant pullback overnight, and you think that we're going to, if the hourly RSI cools down here, and have as a decent pullback here, and we get close to the low here of 1319.20 of this hourly support, then you could find entry there as well. But again, the setups here do favor continuation for the bulls on gold. So if gold stays in a range here, as of now, we have a lot of time to open, but as of now, I'm going to look at the high here of 1336.90 as resistance. Again, that is going to be based on the high of today breaking, and the low here of 1319.20. So we could range here tonight, depending on what gold does. And so for the bears, they want to break 1319.20, and for the bulls, they want to break up the high of today of 1336.90. And all these technicals are going to change overnight, so be aware of that. One thing that did key me in today was I was watching I've been watching the US dollar chart. And you can see that on the US dollar chart, it was forming higher lows, continued to form higher lows. So I was looking for a break of the low here of 89.7640. I was also on FOMC reaction. I did see a nice movement up and on the dollar, and then pull back severely here. And if you go to the 5-minute on it, so on the 5-minute chart here on the U.S. dollar, I was looking at the low of the FOMC reaction, which was at 89.873. We had that significant bounce, and then on the pullback, once it broke that, that clued me in on a little bit which direction gold was going to move. We set a lower 5-minute, a lower high on the 5-minute here when it wasn't able to bounce more significantly here. Had a reversal candle, and then once we broke to a lower low on the 5-minute, you saw a lot of the dollar weakness and the gold strength. JNUG, same thing. Looking at, well, let's look at GDXJ first. GDXJ, the RSIs were so overbought into the close that I did give warning to the chat room that I would really be a little wary holding it overnight. I think that depending on how long it takes gold to pull back on that hourly RSI, it could pull back on the hourly RSI, cool it off easily overnight, and still we could gap up and run on GDXJ on the miners. But we need to be very careful here, and I'm going to look for, same thing, I'm going to look for a higher low to form above 31.71. We'll see how, I want to see how gold plays out, so it's going to be very difficult for me to tell you how to play it on a day trade at this point until tomorrow morning you see the setups, and need to see where the higher high and 5-minute higher high, higher lows are forming. You can also look for equilibrium pattern. The GDXJ was an equilibrium pattern. We had the high of the FOMC and the low of FOMC reaction. Then it ranged there. It was getting tighter, and once we broke the top off to a higher high on the 5-minute, that was another clue to get a trade in once it broke 32.28. But again, everything is set up for the bulls to continue tomorrow. But again, the hourly RSI has to cool tonight. You don't want to see it continue to run that hot because it's unsustainable. Look at JNUG. Actually, let's go back to GDXJ. You can use the GDXJ charts. Looks very similar to JNUG. So now looking at the weekly on the miners here. Again, the junior miners have a little bit of a clearer equilibrium pattern here on the weekly. We have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high, higher low, lower high. We have established a higher low now with that move here. So how I would play GDXJ tomorrow is if it broke the high of today of 32.73. If you want to be patient and wait for that break of 32.73, then I we'll likely see continuation and likely set a higher high on the weekly break, breaking this recent high here of 32.83. So confirmation would be a break of 32.83 if it breaks the high of today of 32.73. And again, just watch the RSI hourly where it's at. You don't want to enter a trade when the RSI is above 70. It just doesn't put things in your favor. So be careful where the RSI is. On a gap up, I would watch for a initial pullback and then potentially finding entry on GDXJ. In the longer term, if you've been following with me again, I'm going to be keying in on this monthly equilibrium pattern. High, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher lows, getting very tight here. Bears want to break the low here of 29.88. Bulls want to break the high of 36.08. That longer term would be a really nice bull break or bear break, in my opinion, to play it for longer term players. And on that break on the monthly, I would still stay relatively conservative and be careful if you're going to play it through JNUG because of the 3x ETFs having time decay. So markets and gold did move in the same directions. Miners are equities, so they do like it when the markets and gold do move in the same direction. They did that initially to start the day. FOMC, they moved initially to start the day. Markets dumped. Gold didn't. Markets were unable to set a higher high on the FOMC high reaction. Gold was able to do so. So gold is looking a little bit stronger than the markets. The markets definitely pulled back, but we'll see how JNUG reacts tomorrow. And again, JNUG, same thing. If you want to go see JNUG, since that's what we've been playing, looking at the weekly, I would look for a break of the high of today, 1442, and then break of 1469 would be confirmation that this weekly pattern is breaking for the in the favor of the bulls in this equilibrium tightening pattern. So looking good for gold. The hourly RSI just needs to cool down. The US dollar broke support, had a bear break on the 4-hour here by breaking to a unable to form a higher low, which is the pattern we've been in. And so the next support to look at the US dollar is going to be 89.62 after the low that was formed today, 89.62, and then 89.561. So the US dollar weakness is definitely helping gold and helping oil. So pay attention to those two commodities. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.